Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with an incredibly fabulous concert program. I am not kidding. This is one of the most exciting ones I've done, at least for me, for my way of thinking about these things. And it doesn't have a concerto. It's never going to be a huge draw in the concert hall. No one's ever going to do it, but you can do it at home. And if you do, it's really going to reward you because this is some fascinating stuff. I call it Renaissance Pictures in Modern Sound. 4 works by 4 different composers, all of them based on portraiture created, portraiture or frescoes or something, artwork, visual arts, created between the late 15th and the early 16th century. That is from the mid 1400s to the mid, let's say, 1500s, in that 100-year period. And they're all very, very different, but they are all modern takes on pictorial artwork of that era. And I think that is the bloody coolest thing. I mean, to be honest with you, I really didn't think about it when I was putting it together. I just said I wanted to do something that was kind of like pictures in an exhibition, but not. And so I found these works, and as I was doing them, I began to think, oh, look. I mean, the original inspirational artworks all date from around the same period, even though the 4 composers in question are extremely individual and different in how they realize those particular images in sound. So, I mean, I'm just telling you, it breaks my heart that this series doesn't get much attention. It's like the Haydn Symphony Crusade. The things that I'm the most excited about are never going to be the things that are the most popular to general viewers. I mean, I don't know why, but there you go. But this is a hot one. And if you are one of those people who are following this series, consider yourself privileged and tell all the others that they don't know what they're missing. So what do we got here? First, Hovhaness, Fra Angelico. I don't know if you know this piece. There's only one recording of it with Hovhaness himself conducting. It's so beautiful. My God, it's wonderful. It's so cool. It's all based on a hymn tune. And the hymn tune is ya da 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 ya da da da. Anyway, something like that. And it's very, very haunting. That was not haunting. That was horrifying. But it's haunting. Believe me, haunting. Not, And it's full of glittery textures and canonic things and crystalline structures and it all sounds vaguely Eastern and oh my God, it's wonderful. Absolutely beautiful. Then you go look at some works by Fra Angelico and it doesn't make any difference whether you hear anything similar or not because it's a wonderful work. Next, Martinu, the Frescoes of Piero della Francesca, one of his actually most popular works. I've actually seen it because you may recall like 20 years ago, James Conlon did a couple Martinu discs for Erato, not symphonies, but his other orchestral pieces, including this one. And so he had it in his repertoire, and he was actually running around conducting it, and I got to see it, and it was wonderful. It's a beautiful 3-movement suite of incredibly exotic and evocative pieces, and you just have to hear it. So there you go. And with that, we come to an end to part 1. So you can go out for intermission and look at the absolutely uninteresting artwork splattered around the lobby of whatever performing arts organization you have to go to, or the fascinating artwork in your own living room, because of course I know that your taste is just immaculate and your home is filled with Renaissance frescoes and objets d'art, right? Well, okay, never mind. After intermission, Respighi, 3 Botticelli pictures. What a glorious little work for chamber orchestra in this case, but it's a very rich and exotic and luscious orchestration. It has spring, the adoration of the Magi with the tune Veni Emmanuel. Veni, veni Emmanuel, captivum solve Israel. You know that one. And then the birth of Venus, Venus on a half shell. She's coming up on her clam, with her arms tastefully covering her naked nipples. Oh my goodness, it's a beautiful painting. And so you have the 3 Botticelli pictures. And last but not least, totally different because all of these others are Italian. So now we're moving to sort of creaky, late medieval, early, late Renaissance, pre-Reformation Germany. And we have the Hindemith Symphony, Mathis der Maler, each movement of which is a representation of one of the 3 panels, or one of 3 panels, from the Isenheim altarpiece of Matthias Grunwald. And oh my goodness, they are wonderful. The first is the Concert of Angels. The second is the Entombment of Christ. And the last is the Temptation of St. Anthony, full of demons and creepy things. But it ends with a glorious chorale, an Alleluia for brass. I mean, it's such a perfect ending of the concert and the climax of these 4 very, very, very different idealized representations of Renaissance, or just immediately after the Renaissance artworks, visual artworks, portraiture, frescature. I don't know, what do you call a fresco? It's not a portraiture. It's a frescature. Call it a frescature. So we're going to go hear all 4 of these, never live, unfortunately, but you can do it at home. And trust me, line it up and take a look at some of the original paintings by these people and just listen to this. It'll be such a marvelous experience for you. I guarantee it. It's, I'm not really big usually on these sort of cross-cultural things because the cross-cultural thing is usually not musical. In other words, they have an idea, they have a concept, but the music doesn't always fit the concept. But in this case, I really think the music works in terms of the concept because it's the music that determined what the concept was. I started with the music, and the story behind it, the general concept only came to fruition after I had already thought about assembling these works into a program. And it just worked. It was meant to be. So there you go. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.